From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening here on LALATE with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In today's recording, we'll go over your monthly stimulus check and why those Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people in this fourth stimulus recon. It's a historic day for the American people, says Bernie Sanders. Then, in the third part of this video, we'll be going over the voting process. The recon's going first. Yes, finally. The recon is going first, and the bipartisan's ready as well. The bill for the bipartisan is getting set for a vote, but the bipartisan is landing first. I have all the breaking details in this big evening's broadcast. Then we cut to fifth stimulus across the board, which raises your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. And finally, viewers are getting over $30,000 from the videos of this channel. I'll explain to you how you can get over $20,000 of rent, over $7,000 for utilities, and over $18,000 for SNAP. It's a big evening, and there's a lot happening. And there's a lot going to be happening all weekend long and all week long. It's a big day across the board, and it starts right now on Evenings at LALATE. How you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful evening across the board. The weather has been pure paradise here in Santa Monica, so don't jinx it. It's just been 3 or 4 days of perfect weather. You know, July is usually good weather in LA. August is often okay. September is usually the worst for Santa Monica. It can heat up. But let's just not jinx it. It's been perfect. How's the weather where you are? Jump on the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to get more checks from those Democrats. Then in the second half of this video, we'll be going to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. These are a historic amount of checks, and I'm going to go over all the details of this incredible recon and these incredible $3.5 trillion of checks. Then we got to the voting, and finally, Schumer confirms that, yes, the recon is going for a vote first. He reassures his previous position, which was Nancy and the president's and Jalopal's and also Bernie's. I have all the details in the final 15 minutes of this video, stayed at the very end. Then we cut to this stimulus, which raises your benefits up lifetime. And then we have the big money that viewers are starting to get across the board. If you've not seen it, here you go. This is what some of the viewers of this channel are getting from this channel. Over $32,000. I'll show you how you get this big money as well. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in America, live in the morning and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto and then Sirloin at 8 o'clock, so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video. 3,000 likes. Every like helps in the algorithm rankings, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that monthly stimulus check starting right now. Senate versus House. Senate versus House. House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year, which is really key in view of what's going on with Delta. 1 year plus pandemic. House bill. Senate approach, July to December. Let's go over the payouts. House, $1,000 after the first month. Senate, monthly unknown, but word on the street is the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness, $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. By the way, I did hear about the rumors that there may be allegedly a $4,000 stimulus check. I have not heard anything beyond just rumors about that. Nothing else I can report to about that at the moment. How do these checks work? Well, the pandemic plus 1 year is really the key provision, pandemic. With the pandemic far from over, that means that the House would give you more than 12 checks, more than 1 year of checks. And more than 12 checks for the House is more than $13,000 for the House. Let's compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Vote right now. House or Senate, House or Senate. Jump in the live chat and vote House or Senate and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Who gets this forced stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that. If you got a third, you get a forced stimulus check. Single individual, 75,000 or less. Democrats represent, you get a forced stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less. Democrats represent, you get a forced stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a forced stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, Democrats represent, you get a forced stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, and VA. The forced stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. The forced stimulus check would be the same amount for everyone, including adult dependents. And the forced stimulus check is a monthly stimulus check, not waivable. And I messed that one up again because I went to Ron Portman's party over the weekend. Is Ron Portman's pork belly roast. I walked in, smelled delicious, and I saw Ron Portman from afar. I got one of the sandwiches. Remember, Ron Portman is the guy who's writing the infrastructure bill. He is also the guy who said, I'm cutting off your unemployment benefits last year. Get back to work, you're lazy. So I got the sandwich, and it was underdone. It wasn't worked on enough. He didn't do enough work on the sandwich. So I walked up to Senator Portman and said, hey, LA, how are you? Good, Senator Portman. Good to see you. I recognize you from your purple shirts. Well, thank you. And I didn't want to wave at you from afar. No, I'm not a waivable check. Yeah, Senator Portman. This pork belly sandwich it smells delicious, but it's not cooked enough. You need to get back to work and do more work on this. Get out of here, Ellie. I guess I should have cut off his benefits as well. The forced stimulus check heats up with the second part of this video. And the second part of this video will be going over the recon. A done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under this forced stimulus recon. It's a done deal. All they have to do is call the vote. 50 of 50 Democratic senators have agreed to pass the recon with a $3.5 trillion price tag. These are checks for all of you, including my seniors and also my workers. I'm going to go over that in the second half of this video. Then the third part of this video, we have great news. As the President, Jalopal, Schumer, and also Pelosi and Bernie confirm that the recon is going for a vote first, then the bipartisan, and they're going together, and the president will sign them together, not one at a time. It's all incredible great news, and I give you a preview of what's happening all this week long in the final 15 of the final 7 states at the very end of this video. It's a big blockbuster of a video tonight. And then we cut also to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. But first, let's get some money. Boy, I was reporting on this channel the deliciousness of rent, food, utilities, and mortgage assistance, and then the numbers went through the roof. Get a pen and paper ready because tonight is going to be your night. I'm going to show you how to get some rent, utilities, food, internet, and mortgage assistance. Let's start with the rent. Over about 5 weeks ago, I said I can get you $5,000 of rent approximately for 4 to 6 months of rent. Guess what? This is what the viewers of this channel have now gotten from my recordings. Yes, you're seeing that right. Yes, blink your eyes because you are seeing that right. $27,000 was obtained by Elizabeth overnight for rent. Mark got $25,000 for rent. This is just for rent, folks. Nancy got $24,000. Richard got $22,000. Nisi got $20,000. There's countless other viewers who are getting tens of thousands of dollars, and I just don't even have room to put it on the graphic. Then when we talked about utilities, I said I could get you $300 for utilities. Suddenly viewers were getting $3,000 for utilities. Then this happened. OMG, deliciousness. $7,000 for utilities, just for utilities by Nancy. Congratulations, Nancy. Mark, $6,500 for utilities. Angela, $5,000 for utilities. And then when I talked about SNAP, I said $5,000 to $6,000 because some viewers were getting it from this channel. Let's see what viewers are now doing for SNAP. Oh my goodness. Louis, $18,000. John, $10,000. Nancy, $5,000. And if you see reoccurring names, yes, viewers are getting multiple items like Art Sullivan, who got 3 items. Nisi got 3 items. Look at this. Incredible. Nancy has gotten $32,000 from this channel from 3 items. Mark has gotten $32,000 from 2 items on this channel. And Nisi has gotten $23,000 for items on this channel. Today is your day to get that big money as well. Get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you how you get this big money. But first, what's going on? This is what LALATE does. I get you money. This is a check cashing channel, not a check tracking channel. In April of last year, EIDL grant and EIDL loan checks were not coming. We did not pull out a calculator and say, the month of July has passed. No, because the checks were never coming. I had to step in and fix the situation for viewers, and I did. And I got them $25 million of EIDL loans and grant checks to cash. Then, in fall of 2020, second stimulus checks were not coming. There was no check to track, and there was no calendar to look at. But I stepped up and I got viewers $250,000 of rent, like Tyrone, family of 4 out of Boston, got $15,000, paid all his rent to the next spring. And now we're doing it again. The only difference is you. You're killing it. So get that pen and paper ready. It's your opportunity to get this money tonight as well. We can go over rent, utilities, mortgages, and homeowners utilities. Each place has different pots of money. If you reach out to one, don't worry if it says no, reach out to the next. They have different eligibility. They also have different pots of money. Listen to the keywords, because viewers tell me the keywords really help them. Are you ready? Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority. Your county hall, your county housing authority. Your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Easy. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus, or Ron Portman's fan club. No one knows that. It just doesn't exist. And congratulations also to Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money for rent as well and utilities. If you got in rent or utilities, post it in the live chat right now on this evening's LA broadcast. The next pot of the money is the money coming back from the wonderful SNAP. SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money for food. What is the eligibility for it? Easier than a stimulus check. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. Congratulations to Lynn Glenn, who got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it. And Louie, $18,000. John, $10,000. How much does SNAP pay? A fortune. A family of 4 out of Hawaii gets upwards of $15,000 to $16,000 now annually. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. And if you got in SNAP as well, post a live chat. We're killing it. You're killing it. $25,000 for rent. $7,000 for utilities, $18,000 for SNAP, and we're only 11 minutes of this video. The next part of the money is the money coming back from your states due to overpayment of unemployment benefits and a computer error. Not your computer, their computer. The federal government has ordered that money returned back to you. One viewer got $3,000, another viewer got $5,000. A few viewers have gotten this money. Where's it landing? Direct deposit. Can you track it? Yeah, contact your state. Say, hi, state. Where's that check due to computer error of unemployment benefits? And can you, when you track it, can you this time plug in your keyboard before you start to rack it for me? It may help. And finally, the last part of the money is the refund check coming back from IRS for that 2020 tax return. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it, and guess what? It's a waivable check. Sorry, Mitch. The waivable check had a latest wave of $1,265 average payout. Deliciousness. Direct deposit started July 14th for this wave, and mail checks July 16th. There's a new wave every week. Wow. Before I go more into that, here's what I want you to know. This channel is about viewers helping viewers. And so if you're in the live chat and you've not posted your success stories for rent, utilities, mortgage, whether it's $1 or $100 you got to post it right now, because when you do, you help other viewers 3 different ways. Number 1, when you post your success story, it inspires people to get it. They'll see my graphic, they'll see your personal comment in the live chat, and inspires them to go get that money for rent, utilities, SNAP. Number 2, when you have a success story of 3 items, that inspires other people to get the other items that they only got 1. Art Sullivan started with 3 items. Nisi got 3 items, and it's become a domino effect. Nancy, as you saw, she got over $32,000 for 3 items. Mark got 2 items at $30,000, so Mark gets some SNAP as well. Let's get you to $40,000. And then finally, it updates us about the numbers. So please inspire other people with your love and help. All right, let's cut back to that unemployment benefits. Where's the landing? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. When? This month. Can you, how much? Let's say you have $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You pay $5,000 of taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Where? Can you track it? Yeah, you can. Go to iris.gov and do a transcript search. And 70% of the time it works. It'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. It'll also reveal stuff that you never knew and some stuff that you wish you forgot. Like when Ron Portman was on Star Search, was his hairstyle also done by Amazon Hair? Air tag us, Ron. And there you go. Also, it'll also reveal 70% of the time the refund check you're getting back from IRS. Can we top that? We can, as we go into the second part of your 4th stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under the 4th stimulus recon. Now, every single day, every single moment, there's a troll that says, I don't know if we're getting anything. I have a feeling I'm not getting anything under the. I have a feeling my neighbor told me, I heard on the front porch, we're not getting anything. Hello, there's $3.5 trillion. It's sort of like, it's not $3.50. It's $3.5 trillion. So you know what? We're starting a new list. If you don't want any of the $3.5 trillion, put your name on the list, and when the checks go out, you will not get any of the $3.5 trillion. There's $3.5 trillion coming to you. What do you mean you don't? You have a feeling it's not coming. It's just going to get lost in the mail, $3.5 trillion. It's just sort of, crazy. How did they get to this wonderful deal, $3.5 trillion for the recon? Because originally the recon had all this money in there, and also roads and bridges, and it was too big. And the Democrats said, we're not going to pass it with roads and bridges in there, take it out. So they took the roads and bridges out after July 4th and shrunk the recon, put the roads and bridges into the bipartisan, and made both the bipartisan passable and the recon passable. The confirmation comes from conservative publication, confirming my reporting recently. It said that before the $3.5 trillion price tag, the higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go, confirmation. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon and put it into the bipartisan roads and bridges, it made the overall recon bill smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan made the recon passable. But ironically, the recon also made the bipartisan passable. They're now both passable because they've been shrunk to where they belong. Once they shrunk the recon, they also blew it up a little bit more, the progressives, bringing it to a price tag they love. $3.5 trillion across the board. And this is exactly what they wanted, a real accomplishment for them. Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota progressive, said, we have to have a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, Elon. Congratulations, $3.5 trillion. And then Representative Richie Torres said, we have to have a larger recon. You got it, $3.5 trillion. Congratulations. And the progressives were meeting with the White House daily to ensure the recon went big and bold enough. They got it, $3.5 trillion. How did they do this? By protecting the recon. The president had told the progressives protect the recon. Why? Because, as Brian Schatz said, everything that's the progressive priorities in the recon is the White House's own priorities, said the White House. So, what is a recon? How does it get voted on? What's the difference between a recon and a bipartisan? And why is broadcast media making such a butchering of the subject matter? Let's go over that starting right now. First with the terminology. You see on this channel, I only use really two words. Our money, the recon, $3.5 trillion of checks, and the bipartisan, roads and bridges. That's easy, just two terms. But here's what's going on. Broadcast media is literally getting an F in reporting this. Why? Because they're sometimes switching the terms, and sometimes they're adding another term to describe both of them at the same time, which you can't because they're two different paths of legislative processes. So let's go over the words so when you hear it, you'll understand, they're butchering it. Because trust me, sometimes I'm having my morning coffee, and I'm like, what did I just hear? That makes no sense. Let's go over the details starting right now. The two paths, recon and bipartisan, my words. Easy words. What are the recon, but what are the other words for this? Recon is also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill. Price tag, $3.5 trillion. People quoting an article about it, like a Bernie or an AOC or a Nancy. Bipartisan, what is also called roads and bridges, also called infrastructure. Price tag less than $1.5 trillion. People quoting an article about it. Kristen Sinema, Mitt Romney, Ron Portman. Okay, that's pretty easy. So who writes a recon? A recon is written by Democrats for Democrats to pass by Democrats. Who actually puts the pen and paper together? This is something sort of new for Evenings LA when I want to explain. Not a lot of people, just a few people in those House subcommittees. There's not a lot of them. And under the Constitution, those House subcommittees are delegated subject matters. They have the Senate subcommittees helping them, but it's not a lot of people. And ultimately, they write those subject matters. For example, House Ways and Means Subcommittee is responsible under the Constitution for stimulus checks and also unemployment benefits. When those subcommittees are done, let's say there's 10 of them with 10 pages, they send their pages up to Chuck Schumer. 10 of 10 is 100 pages. 100-page item legislation. With that, Chuck puts a big S on it for sugary, salty, seductive, Schumerish. So what? Laverne and Shirley. No, for Senate. And that's your recon. Now, up to that point, there's no constitutional requirement of transparency. So the House subcommittee members don't have to show you what they're writing, not writing, adding, not putting in there across the board. It's sort of like a pop singer who has an upcoming album, doesn't have to show you or have you hear the songs on the album until it's released. What's important for you to know is that's what broadcast media and myself confirm. We don't have the recon yet, so we don't actually know everything that's in there. To someone who says, I haven't heard of this thing in there. Well, the reason why you haven't heard is because we don't have the bill yet. We have an emoji for this, not bill yet. But later in this video, I'm going to go over the next emoji, not law yet. Even when we have the bill will get modified. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. Well, guess what? We're calling the vote on the recon. 12 members of that House, 12 people co-signed that letter, of which who are part of the 100-plus House Democrats who wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly stimulus checks to the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of that House Ways and Means subcommittee, the one you just went over, yep, that one, recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're putting monthly fourth stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Whoa. Purple Power, you have to keep these people their promise. That's a great promise. They also wrote you a third, and they're giving you a fifth. Later, more about this later in the video. Can we top that? Yes. Biden did it. He got the global minimum corporate tax rate confusing expression into law. He had signed it ceremonial about 6 weeks ago, but that ceremonial signature was followed up by the real signature a few days ago. Why is this big news for forced stimulus? Because it's a confusing thing that doesn't belong in forced stimulus. I can't even say it, it's so confusing. Global minimum corporate tax rate minimum. Oh, I'm exhausted. I just felt like I ran a triathlon saying that. So, number one, you should write the recon because this confusing thing ain't in there. You should call the vote on the recon because this confusing thing ain't in there. You should vote on the recon because this confusing thing ain't in there. And you should pass the recon because this confusing thing ain't in there. And can we top that? And we can. As we go into the final 15 minutes of the final 7 days of this video, we'll be going over the vote, the bills, the dates. Yes, they finished one of the legislations practically over the weekend, and one of them is ready for a vote. But is it jumping ahead of us? No, it's not. Schumer, Pelosi, President, and also Jalapal and Bernie all confirm your recon is going first. And guess what? Schumer confirms them both pass. Recon and bipartisan will be done by the August recess. Yes, it's coming up in the final 15 of this video. Also, then we also cut to fifth stimulus. But something more wonderful than that, the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, food, or internet, and you couldn't find it yourself, then reach out to the volunteers. Where are they? Open the description of this video. You'll see an emoji of a house. Click that link. It'll send you over to the community page. It's news.la.com/community. And here's a little bit about them. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA, direct from Santa Monica, with the big final 15 of the final 7, with a lot of breaking news happening in tonight's Evenings LA broadcast. How are you? Boy, it's a big night with so much breaking details about the bills, the votes, the dates, and everything you need to know across the board. Thank you for staying with me to the final 15 of the final 7 starting right now. Also coming up is fifth stimulus, which raise your benefits lifetime. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Remember, I told you going into the last weekend that there was going to be a lot of breaking, developing details, and there was going to be too much information to stay behind on to catch up with on the following Monday. And I really appreciate you for tuning in full force over the weekend. It was a working weekend for these congressional leaders, so if you're up to date, great. Coming into the new week, there's going to be a lot of breaking details across the board. So subscribe. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Never forget to like the video because it really helps in the algorithm rankings. And consider becoming a member. Let's cut to fifth stimulus shortly. The president promised this during his campaign trail for president. He said he was going to provide a raise of your benefits, SSI, SSDI, VA, and more. He did not deliver this. And he did not deliver it after he promised it during the transition papers as well. So the Senate Democrats and House Democrats are doing it for you. This is the SSI reform. This is fifth stimulus. It would start legislating around September, out for a vote about November, and then the benchmark would be applied in December. How does this work? First, they'll raise your benefits up, remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this works, starting right now. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple benefits, your benefits will be raised up. Second, they'll apply a new benchmark. When? December. What is the benchmark? Inflation. The benchmark will be used for next year's benefits. How high is inflation going? It's going to be transitory. What does that mean, transitory? That is a word from Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve. That's a fancy word to mean temporary spike. When's a temporary spike? December. Yes, right when they apply your benchmark. Oh, this is good news. So how high is that inflation rate going to go? I've been reporting 5%. That's what a lot of Wall Street is reporting as well. So let's do the analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply the benchmark. And that will be an additional 5% approximately. And that will not be just for next year. It will be lifetime because once your benefits step up, they never step down. Then they'll apply a benchmark for next year's benefits. And if it's 2%, you'll be a +2 +5%. After that, they can remove the asset cap. Asset cap. It sounds like something else. They're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. It'll be giving you the opportunity to have some muddled Crayola. Did you say muddled? There's nothing muddled about this. This is Cardinals STL Red, Canute. There'll be room to have some beautiful Cardinals red Crayola crowns in your hand and some stimulus checks. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your long-time love interest and do a pair dance, maybe even during the wedding ceremony. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to do a pair dance because they'll be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. If you were married and lost benefits, they'll be restored. And that's fifth stimulus. Now, if you're on the live chat and you notice people who have purple hawks next to their name, and notice they're getting the big sums of money. And why are you not getting those big sums of money? Consider becoming a member. Members are delivered daily from me to them a breakdown of all the big money in these stimulus packages, and that's how they're able to get these big sums of money. Purple Hawks are getting these enormous sums of money, $32,000, $32,000, $23,000, enormous sums day in, day out for rent, because guess what? This is what these stimulus packages are all about. For stimulus, I'll be doing this as well for you. $3.5 trillion of checks I'll be getting for you when they land. But this is what I've been doing since day one. When second stimulus passed, it was a $600 stimulus check. And I said, yeah, but I'll get you $6,000. I got Tyrone, $14,000. And then when third stimulus passed, I said, yeah, it's a $14 stimulus check. I'll get you $14,000. I got viewers like Nancy, $32,000. So consider becoming a member and have delivered daily to you all this big money broken down for you in third stimulus via the YouTube community page written by me. It's all application based. Consider getting that money right across the board. Also, will there be a fifth stimulus check? Yes. Those House Ways and Means members represent they're giving you one in that as well. It would not overlap with fourth, and it would be for next year. And with that, let's go into the final 15 of the final 7, starting right now. We go over what the next 7 days have unfold for us in these final 15 minutes. It's a big video, and it starts right now. Final 15, recon, done, a deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people. It's a historic day for the American people, says Bernie Sanders. It will fund all the programs he asked for. He went in asking for $7 trillion. He said, I agreed to $3.5 trillion. I got 100% payout, just short a period of time. Obviously, 3.5 is half of 7, so maybe half the amount of time. These checks are all different types of checks. The progressives and the Democratic senators, all 50 of them, met with Schumer over the last week and said, yes, we agree to pass $3.5 trillion as a recon item. So this is a done deal. All they have to do is call the vote on the recon. He also had a meeting with them in the end of last week where they agreed to advance it as well. Although they didn't call the vote to advance it, they agreed to advance this as well. So it's all on board. While we don't have the recon bill yet, I have some of the provisions in the recon. Remember, these are checks for everyone. Checks for everyone. This is not the children's check from third stimulus. This is fourth stimulus. So free school meals for all, checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, immigration reform checks, farming checks, election checks, closing the digital divide checks. They're going to get free internet across the board, across the country, giving cities fortunes to run their own internet companies and give it to you for free. Then clean energy checks. Here come my checks for my seniors and my workers. First, my workers. Checks for workers, checks for independent contractors, checks for unions, checks for collective bargaining rights. And then here come my checks for my seniors. Checks for seniors, lowering the eligibility age checks, dental checks, vision checks, and hearing care checks. All right, let's get over to the roads and bridges, the bipartisan. The roads and bridges bipartisan underwent 3 votes in the last week, all called advancing the vote or ending discussion. Why did Chuck Schumer do that? Because the bipartisan, the roads and bridges, was stalling. It was not moving along. He wanted it to get it moving, and it worked. Now it's passable. The Republicans are agreeing to pass the bipartisan. On the other side of the spectrum, the questioning of the Democrat caucus Senate members all say they're ready to call the vote on the recon. So now we go back to the question of who goes first. If you saw my broadcast from yesterday, I was a little neurotic, or very neurotic, because I had not seen enough quotes from Chuck about the recon. I went back in and I found there were more quotes from Chuck. And right after I said that, maybe he was watching, maybe Purple Power got to him. He said on the Senate floor today, both paths are near the finish line. He referred to both paths, recon and the bipartisan. Thank goodness. Now let's go over what you need to know. Chuck, the president, Nancy, Jalopal, all confirm. The recon goes for a vote first and then the bipartisan. It is not one by itself at all. Let's go over some of the incredible quotes. The president reassures the American people that he will not sign the roads and bridges if that's all he's sent on his desk. He said, if only one thing comes to me, this is the only one that comes to me, I'm not signing it. They need to come in tandem. Then he also says, I'm not just signing the bipartisan and forgetting the rest of the stuff I propose, recon. I propose a significant piece of legislation, recon, and they all need to be on my desk. So great news from the president, saying that he's not going to just sign one piece of legislation. They both have to land there. Number 2, Nancy Pelosi confirms that the recon has to land in the House first from the Senate. She had said this quote a few weeks ago, and Bernie Sanders met with her on Thursday, and she reassured Bernie Sanders again. The Senate must send the House the recon first, cannot send the bipartisan roads and bridges first. If they do the Senate, Nancy Pelosi is throwing it in the wastebasket. This is Nancy Pelosi's comment. There won't be a bipartisan unless we have a recon, plain and simple. In fact, I use the word ain't. There ain't going to be a bipartisan unless we have a recon passed by the United States Senate first. There you go. Jalopal also has our back. Jalopal says that we did a poll of our members a few days ago, and the overwhelming majority of our members, Democrats, said they're not voting for the bipartisan without the recon. Wow, great news. So to recap, the 2 pieces of legislation are going hand in hand. Chuck Schumer confirms that both paths, recon and bipartisan, will get voted on and approved by the August recess. So why was Chuck talking so much about the bipartisan, the roads and bridges, going into the weekend that made me a little bit neurotic, because the roads and bridges was really dragging its feet. It was getting too slow. It was holding everyone up. It's like the person who wasn't ready to go out to the party. I got to change the outfit again. It's like, can you get it done already? Can you just get it done already? It's just a Ron Portman's party. Everyone's going to look like junk. So, yeah, it was holding everything up. And so he was trying to get them going, and it worked. He was not trying to put the roads and bridges in front of us. He was trying to speed them up. And he reassured us, thank goodness, since yesterday's recording. Maybe he was watching. Because, trust me, I was getting a little neurotic, and you were as well. But neurotic is fine. Here's what you need to know, is that the legislation for the roads and bridges was supposed to be written in bill format by this last Saturday. But reports say that it will be done by as early as Monday. Now, do the Republicans want to have the roads and bridges called for a vote first? Of course they do. Of course they do. But here's what you need to know, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. There's only two people who determine what is called for a vote, when it's called for a vote, and how it's called for the vote in the United States Congress. Only two people have that right. No one else has a right. No one else has a say in it. Their names are Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Kristen Sinema has no control of the subject matter, nor does Mitch McConnell, nor does Mitt Romney, nor does Ron Portman, nor does anyone else. Only those two people. And that's what's really important. All right, next thing is that when we see the recon land in the Senate with that S on it, then we have an emoji for that, not law yet. This is what's really important for you to understand, is that $3.5 trillion of checks are in that recon. But if something's incorrect in the recon, it's imperfect, we have a backup. And the backup is other Democrats. The people who have been working on this recon over the last few weeks are just a few people. They're just a few people in the subcommittees. And guess what? The Democratic senators and the Democratic House members have said, I haven't had my hands on it. I haven't been able to touch it. I haven't been able to modify it. When I get it, I'm modifying it. That's great news for us. It starts in the Senate, goes to the House, then goes back to the Senate for a 2-day vote-a-rama. And those Democrats are saying, I'm ready to modify stuff because I've not had an opportunity to even touch it. Great news. Because if the recon is imperfect, purple power, you have to push. We've done this before. We have done this before where we've seen legislation that is imperfect and they modified the legislation to fix it. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. And it happens all the time. So when you see that recon on the Senate side, potentially at the early part of this week, do not think that that is the finish line, because it's not. They got to modify the language. All right, now let's go over a couple of things else that you need to know, which is that this week I expect Republicans and Democrats to have a real fiasco when they learn that Kristen Sinema inserted a crypto regulation provision into the roads and bridges bipartisan before a weekend, before the calling the vote at the 11th hour. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to sit well with anyone that has any knowledge of crypto. Who puts a regulation of crypto provision into a roads and bridge at such a sneaky, scheming way? So could that require some butchering of the roads and bridges? I think it will. I think you'll see this really talked about. All right, finally, a couple of personal messages. You've been great pushing on social media. Continue to push. Continue to push, Purple Power, because remember, not law yet. And when we see the bill, it's absolutely not law yet. Number two, please try to restrain from inserting narratives of things you've read online. I've been reading stuff online. Some of it is absolutely incorrect. Some of it is actually dated, meaning that it may have been correct when it was published 5 days ago, and now it's totally different. So please restrain from doing that. Third, there are some people that are posting, even on the first afternoon's LA Today, I even had a discussion with this person, saying, I don't know if I feel, I don't want, listen, there's $3.5 trillion of checks under the fourth stimulus. If you don't want the $3.5 trillion of checks under the third stimulus, can you just add your name to the list? And when they send out those $3.5 trillion of checks, we just won't send you one. There's $3.5 trillion of checks. So if you have a feeling about that, I don't know what your feeling is. You don't want it? You don't have to have it. Won't put your name on the list, and they won't be sending you any. Finally, these numbers are very indicative of what this channel has really achieved. When you look at these numbers and you look at these success stories, and I have pages and pages of people, and some of them are saying, can you put me on the graphic? I just don't even have enough graphics to put everyone up. When you see these numbers, these are people who understood that third stimulus was not just a $1,400 stimulus check. Third stimulus was not $1,400. No one really cares when you look at your bank account what the $27,000 was called. Do you care what the $27,000 was called? I don't care if you call it apples. I don't care if you call it oranges. It's $27,000. It's $25,000. I don't care what it's called. If it's relieving $25,000 on my bills, I love it. And these viewers, overwhelming, I mean, I got pages and pages of viewers, understood that there was a $1,400 stimulus check in the third stimulus package, but LA kept on telling me there's tens of thousands of dollars in that third stimulus for me, in addition to that stimulus check. They understood it, they ran with it, and they got these tens of thousands of dollars. When you look at fourth stimulus, it's going to be the same thing, but bigger, because it's $3.5 trillion. It's a behemoth. It's a fortune. There's going to be fortunes in there of that $3.5 trillion, which I'm going to show you as Purple Hawks how to get. So remember, money is money. No one cares what the money is called so long as you get it. And with that, keep on pushing. I'll see you next on Overnights LATE, and Sirloin is at 8 o'clock. Join me in the month of August as this programming schedule expands and more shows are added. Join me tomorrow morning on Early Mornings LATE as well. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes. Stay on this video. It'll automatically take you to Overnights Crypto, currently playing on the channel, a new show tonight. And stay informed, stay focused, like the video, and consider becoming a member so you can get all this deliciousness. Have a beautiful evening and stay with LA.